So, Tom, talk about here we are getting ready for week 10. Talk about this Lakota West team. You've obviously had some great ones. You won
Mhm.
23 straight games in the league from what, 2020 to 2023.
Yeah.
How does this team stack up? And just kind of give me an evaluation of where you are going into the final week of the regular season.
Well, I like where we're at. I mean, I think we've gotten better and better each week. That's the key with the whole thing. You can ask any coach. You definitely want to get better and better each week. So I like that aspect of it from this season. In terms of where they stack up with others, I mean, it's a very very similar team to the ones that I've had here. Hang a hat on our defense. Got a bunch of dudes that can run around and run fast and hit hard on defense, and that's what we're, we're going to be built around. And then offensively, we're a little bit different this year than we have in the past. Jerry Beauchamp, who was my offensive coordinator, he stepped away to do some family stuff. Kids were getting a little bit older. So I was forced out of retirement, my offensive coordinating retirement. So I'm back out of calling plays, which has been exciting this year. It's a lot of work, but it's been exciting. And I think we had, all the offensive line was back, quarterback was back, skilled kids were back, two really young, talented running backs. So it's kind of helped us from that offensive standpoint. And, we've scored a lot of points this year.
You mentioned a lot of points. I mean, you scored 50 or more in 5 of the last 6 games. You got
Yeah.
it down to 42 last week in your big
Yeah.
rival game, which you
Yeah.
still put up 42. But talk about, give me some of the names on offense that have really been, because I know you've got the quarterback veteran, he's been
Yeah.
around, and you've got a big time tight end. But talk about just some of the, for somebody who hasn't seen West, what are they going to see?
Well, what it is you kind of look at it as like offensively up front, our O line, they're all back. They're all of a year under their belt. They're all starters last year. No one kind of wows you when you see them in terms from the physical standpoint. Um, but they're just hard nosed, tough, strong, intelligent kids who have worked hard to get better and better. I think that's been the huge part for us. And then from a skill standpoint, um, Tyson Davis, who I affectionately refer to him as Debo Davis because he's kind of like that Debo Samuel type player in terms of kind of do a little bit of everything. Trey Barnett at the wide receiver position. And then in the backfield, I got two really, really talented kids. I got a young man, a running back in BJ Johnson, who's 5 or 6 offers now as a junior. And then there's a super sophomore, a young man by the name of Kenyon Norman, who is he might end up being the best I've seen. He was on the state champion 4x1 relay team as a true freshman. He's 6'1", almost 190 pounds, and he can flat out go. So those guys are the ones you hear about the quarterback because we do a lot of Q run, and Sam's done such a great job. But yeah, the offensive unit's really been clicking.
How about the tight end?
He's different now. I mean, we got a lot of dudes on this team, but it kind of evolves around him because what he can do from a blocking standpoint and a pass threat. So Luca Gilbert is going to Miami, Florida. He's a little over 6'7". He's probably closer to 6'7" or 6'8" than he is 6'7", and he's 250 pounds. And he can run, and he's got great hands, and he's actually has the highest GPA on the team as well. So he is a special individual, and I think his best football is yet ahead of him. But he is just such a matchup nightmare for teams. We can insert him in the line. We can get him out in space. We can get him down the middle. He can just do so much.
Talk about some of the guys on your defense, and because that's been your kind of mainstay
Yeah.
for a long time, but especially here at Lakota West.
Yeah, no, it's our linebacker core is the strength of the team. We've got several individuals there that got quite a few offers and things like that. So Grant Bierman, he's 6'4", 215 pounds, and can really really run, high IQ on and off the field. So he's kind of the focal point, the leader of that. But Micah Markley, another linebacker at the inside, has been a starter since the sophomore. Cam Thomas at the outside, who's probably got 30 offers now as a junior, and then DJ Johnson, who was a Moeller kid who transferred back here, is at the other side, and so that they're really kind of the muscle of the group. Up front, kind of among some heroes. We don't have the flat. Eli Davis for 3 years as a starter here was just phenomenal. who's now at Akron. But we got big Vincent Giordano at 6'5", 280 pounds, and Cole Munday, who's playing really, really well. And then we have some other guys here and there. But so it's just a really solid group up front. And then in the back end, we got the twins. We got the Mason twins who were on that 4x1 relay team who can run. And so they're kind of holding it down on the back end. So it is a very, very sharp group in terms of high football IQ and athletic as all get out.
Let me ask you, you obviously did it for years at Colerain, and now you're doing it here at West as one of the most consistent public high schools. And I think it's tough, as anybody who's at a public high school always talk about the cyclical nature.
Sure.
How have you managed at two spots, similar, same league, competing schools? What's the formula? What have you seen? What have you been able to do that maybe some others haven't? Is there a secret formula to it?
No, I mean, not really. I mean, anybody tell you got to have some dudes, and we got dudes, so there's no question about that. That helps, but just the hard work and expectations. I think one thing that helps us year in and year out is, I'm kind of from that philosophy. I always let my upperclassmen know you only get one opportunity to separate yourself from the young guys. If I got a young guy who, all things equal, ability-wise, on and off the field, that means all that other stuff, character and all that, you can't separate yourself from him. I'm playing the younger guy because I get more years out of him, and that's much to the chagrin of a lot of parents and things like that. But it keeps kids from getting complacent. They know that they got to compete year in and year out. So that's one of the things we do. One of the other my middle school kids come up and lift with us in the off season and in the summer and all that kind of stuff, and we involve them as much as I can. Our freshmen practice with us right up until the end of July. So there's a lot of things that we do with the younger guys so they don't get to the point where they get here that it's not this big, huge shock and all. They've been around it at a young age. They know how Coach B can be when things aren't going well and what's expected.
Well, and I remember back in the days of Colerain, you had the little cards and even the youth program. You would go down to the elementary schools. And I mean, how important is it kind of setting that stage for, hey, you're this age now, but when you get to the high school level, I want you to be a part of this football program, and we want to have a winning program.
Yeah, it's huge. I will tell you this. You talk about youth football in Lakota is unbelievable. I mean, there's two organizations here. There's Tomahawks that have been around forever, well-established, well-run program, and then there's now a new one out here, the Lakota Lightning. So there's no short. I mean, it's crazy. There are 4 or 5 teams at certain grade levels playing youth football here. It's absolutely phenomenal, and that's what you need. And there's a great group of people running these organizations, and a great group of people coaching these teams, and from the cheerleaders up and all that. And we honor them here on our night and all that. I mean, it's a special place in terms of youth football. I mean, it's pretty wild. There's probably anywhere from 500 to 700 kids playing youth football in this area. I mean, it's kind of unheard of anymore.
Big game, obviously. If you win, you'll win at least a share. I know Princeton's got Colerain, but I mean, you would tie at top, and that would be for you 4 of the last 5 years. Just last year being the only one, and they happened to get you. Yeah. They stayed undefeated. How important is this game for that, for winning a share of the GMC? And not only for that, but just getting your team, you're on a roll, so keeping that roll heading into the postseason.
Yeah, no, it's huge. I mean, and it started, I told the kids, really last week we kind of viewed it as we've already started in playoff mode. Last one was a huge week for the Lakota bragging rights, but the huge Harbin points and things like that. Here's another one right here that's going to happen where we need all those coaching points and all that other those Harbin points and all that kind of stuff. And it'll be big for us that we come out and we play well, because like you said, it's keeping the momentum going, playing against a well coached, disciplined, smart, tough Mason football team that will get better and better each week, hopefully.
Well, you've won 6 in a row. Mason's won 4 in a row. They started by losing 4 of their first 5, but Brian Kastner always does a good job, and their defense, kind of like you guys, is kind of the forte. And you look at some of your games, inclusive of last year, they're relatively, at times, lower scoring. You expect, is this a normal Lakota West Mason game?
I hope not, because they have been really close. I mean, last year, 10-7, 10-7, what it ended up being, and listen, no disrespect to Brian and those kids. I hope it's not. I hope we keep playing like we're playing, but you never know. I know this. I'm excited to see our defense this week. I think they were stinging for a little bit, giving up 24 points. But I tried to tell the kids and the coach, I said, man, that's a really good offense you played in Lakota East, giving up 24. And we made adjustments second half, only give up 3 in the second half. So I think they've kind of got a chip on their shoulder in regards to that. So, and hopefully our offense could just keep cooking. But it's going to be a challenge at their place, their senior night, no doubt about it.
You've been doing this for a while. Not that you're old, mind you.
Yeah, look at this, man. This is great.
I know your beard is all gray.
Freaking believable.
I get it. At least you don't have hair as thin as Kerry Combs, but that's a whole other story.
This is true.
Right, but
I'm keeping the flow.
You seem to still have the fire. I mean, you still feel.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, is it still something?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I always tell the guy, there's that feeling I get in my stomach on game day that I get as soon as I get up out of bed, and as long as I got that feeling, I'll keep coaching. I love what I'm doing. I love having fun with the kids. I love getting after it. I love competing. I love being with the people that I'm around on a day in and day and out. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do a lot for a long time. I'm close to retirement in terms of the other part, the real job part in terms of the day. But I don't see myself giving up coaching anytime soon. I'm gonna do it as long as I can. I may drop on the field one of these days. Hopefully for a long time, but that's probably what will happen.